Push that rock here with some math. Let's define the radian measure of an angle. So here's an angle in standard position, 120 degrees. It cuts out 1/3 of the full circle. A full circle is 360 degrees. So if I draw an angle that cuts away 1/3 of the circle, then that angle cuts away 120 degrees. But degrees is an old, archaic measurement unit. We want a modern unit that is tied more to length than to this weird division of the circle into 360 parts. So we invented radian measure. What the radian measure of an angle is, let's define it now. So the radian measure of some angle, let's call that angle theta, the Greek letter theta. It's going to represent angles. Okay, so the radian measure is equal to the arc length that the angle cuts out in a circle. So any angle can be put so that the vertex is the center of the circle, and the arc length that it cuts out divided by the radius of that circle is the radian measure. And what we want to be able to do at the end of this video is convert a measurement like 120 degrees to radians. We want to convert to a different unit of measurement for the angle from degrees to radians using this definition. So we first have to have the arc length and the radius. So I have a circle here and I've drawn a 120 degree angle, but I made the circle 5 units in radius. So the equation of a circle is always x squared plus y squared equals r squared if it's centered on the origin like this one is. And if my r is 5, then it would be x squared plus y squared equals 25. So the radius of this circle is 5. So my radius of this circle is 5. Now I want to know the arc length. If I know this arc length here, then I can take that arc length divided by 5, and I'll have the radian measure of this 120 degree angle. Well, how do I get the arc length? Well, we have talked about that in a previous video. We know that pi is equal to the circumference divided by the diameter. So that means that pi times the diameter is equal to the circumference. Remember, circumference is the total distance around the circle, whereas diameter is the total distance across the circle containing the center. Well, if the radius is 5, then the diameter is 10. So for this particular circle, 10 times pi, I just put in 10 for the diameter, is the total distance around. Now, what fraction of the circle is 120 degrees? 120 degrees out of 360 degrees. So you want to take your degrees divided by 360 to find what fraction of the circle you're dealing with. And when I divide off the degrees and I divide off the zeros, I have 12 over 36. But 12 over 36, so you divide 12 by 12, you get 1. Divide 36 by 12, you get 3. It's 1/3. So 120 degrees is 1/3 of the full circle. So the arc is 1/3. So if I multiply both sides by 1/3, then 1/3 of the full distance around is the arc. So this is the arc. And then over here I have 10/3 pi. So this length is 10/3 pi. Now remember, pi is a little bit bigger than 3, so this is about 30 point something divided by 3, so it's 10 point something. But to leave it exact, it's 10 pi thirds. That's the arc. But to get the radian measure, let's go back to the red. To convert this angle to radian measure, I take this arc, which is 10/3 pi, and I divide it by the radius. That's the definition, arc over radius. So I'm going to put the 5 here. Okay, well, how do I simplify that? What is 10/3 divided by 5? Well, it'd be 2/3, because 5 times 2/3 would give me 10/3. And so this turns out to be 2 pi thirds radians. So 120 degrees is equivalent to 2 pi thirds radians. Math made simple, some math.